professionals marketplace, so you have channels with which you can get into. You can contact any one of the asset management companies who have collective investment schemes which pool investments into these kind of products. So you could go into a unit trust collective investment scheme which could have a combination of some government bonds, some bonds from Eskom, some bonds from Anglo-American, and various mixes of that. And that manager job is to try and balance the returns they're getting out of these assets with the risks they're taking against the mandate of the portfolio. An alternative channel which you can look at these things is through your typical stockbroker. On exchange, there are a number of what are called exchange-traded funds, and you may well know them as a vehicle with which to get into, for example, the top 40 shares on the JSE. There are similar exchange-traded funds which are made up of a basket of bonds, for example, a basket of 11 government bonds, which we call our Govie index. So you would be going into a fund whose sole mandate is to invest in proportion in the underlying government bonds as representative of what is out in the marketplace. So similar to a collective investment scheme, but traded on exchange, and you can access that instrument through your stockbroker. Many of you may be familiar with ETFs such examples as the Satrix 40, which is an equity exchange-traded fund which takes the collective money from investors and invests in the top 40 shares on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. In a similar fashion, we have a suite of bond indices, the most popular being something called the ALBI, which is the All Bond Index, or the Govie, which is the Government Bond Index. And what it is a portfolio of all the big bonds that trade in our marketplace. So the Govie is a portfolio of the top 11 government bonds, and so if you invest in that ETF through, for example, your stockbroker, that money will be invested in what looks like a share because it's traded on the exchange, but that money then goes into a portfolio which is an agglomeration of those 11 government bonds and will pay you the return that comes out of that portfolio.